What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another FIFA 23 video. EA released the Bundesliga year in review and people are massively confused on how to complete it. So I'm going to explain it to you right here, right now. First thing to note guys is that it will take a minimum of 18 games to complete. And it is a little bit of, you're going to have to like mix and match some teams around to get it done. You can complete this in squad battles at minimum semi-pro difficulty or higher, in rivals and in foot champs. Honestly, for some of the little like interesting bits, I would probably do it in squad battles. For some of the big stuff, you can easily do it in rivals or champs as well. If you found this helpful, drop a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And so here we go. The first one. And we're going to go through what they are first, and then I'll explain to you the best way to build a team to complete them. The first one is Sting Like a Bee. The team had a superb start to 2023 with a strong unbeaten streak in the league. Recreate their run to solve this riddle. You will require 4 players from that club in your starting 11, and the 4 players from the club is Dortmund. Quite simply, just put 4 players in your team and play 8 games. It might be wins. It's most likely just play, but winning and playing at the same time be the same, and you'll figure it out very quickly whether it's win or play, which is why it might be a minimum of 18 games or it might be a maximum of 18 games. So all you have to do for Sting Like a Bee is play 8 games with 4 Dortmund players in your starting 11. Celebration at Mua. The outstanding display by this player provide instrumental in propelling his team towards a comfortable victory. Hats off to him. Can you solve this riddle? And yeah, this riddle is really easy. All you have to do in this one is score 3 goals. Score a hat-trick, not 3 goals with Austrian players, score a hat-trick with an Austrian player. It doesn't have to be from the Bundesliga. It doesn't have to be Onisiwo, who this is about. It just has to be a hat-trick with an Austrian player. You can do this off the bench, but I would always recommend starting the player just in case. So start your Austrian, score a hat-trick, happy days. Next, we've got the Bavarian victory. The start of this season came packed with action, a one-sided match with one team bagging half a dozen goals. Recreate their dominance to solve this riddle. Well, this one's really simple, guys. This is score 6 goals in a game with a Bayern player. It can be any Bayern player. And again, this is why I feel like doing this on squad battles for this will just be a lot easier. Scoring 6 goals in a game with a Bayern player will knock this one off for you. And then we've got terrific tie. Never give up. Even when it looks like it's over, there is always a chance. This team showed their bullish side with their amazing late comeback. Can you solve this riddle? Yes, I can. Terrific tie is 3 goals with Red Bull Leipzig players. Now, it's always like somebody scored 3 that not from the same player and it counted. I always get really cautious with this sort of stuff. And I would also score a hat trick with the same player from Red Bull Leipzig. So very simple. Just if you've got like Werner or anyone from Red Bull Leipzig in your team, which you should have because of top 5. But if you've got anyone from there in your team, go ahead and score a hat trick with them. And that will complete this one and get you the 1181 Bundesliga pack. So 1 game, really easy, very comfortable to do. Next up, we've got Relegation Battle for the XP. And Relegation Battle is 1 team from the capital has had a tough season so far. Shoot them to their season win total at the end of match day 31 to solve this riddle. And their season win total was 6. And that is to score and win with a Hertha Berlin player. So you have to start with a Hertha Berlin player in the starting 11. You have to score with that player. It can be just 1 goal. And you have to win the game 6 times. Which again is one of those things that I personally would do in squad battles. Because, or rivals. Rivals is okay as well. But I wouldn't be wasting my Foot Champs games on some of these objectives for sure. Then we've got top 5, the one that makes this just ridiculously long. However, you do get an icon for this, which is pretty cool. At the end of match day 31, these 5 clubs are at the top of the table. Include 2 players from each of these clubs in your next 10 matches to solve this riddle. And those 5 clubs are Bayern, Dortmund, Union Berlin, Freiburg, and Leipzig. So 2 players from each of those 5 teams. What we tested was, can you have those just in the bench? Because Sting Like a Bee specifies that you have to have them in your starting 11, whereas top 5 doesn't. However, after testing it, it does seem that you have to have them in your starting 11, which means 10 of your positions are going to be taken for this 10 games by these 2 players. And this, again, I believe is just play 10 games. And I don't believe it's win 10 games. But if it is just play 10 games, you can do the whole set in 18 games. If it is win 10 games, like Sting Like a Bee may well be win 6 games, win 8 games, then it may take more than 18 games, which would be really frustrating because I don't think this is quite worth more than 18 games of your time. But only time will tell for that one. And then last but not least, guys, is Iron Strength. This team has delighted football fans with their amazing performance this season. This memorable match was important because it ended their 5-game winless streak. Can you solve this riddle? And the riddle is very simple. You need to score 2 goals with an Union Berlin player. I do believe you have to win the game as well. Some people have subbed on the player and scored. Some people have started the player and scored. So once again, I personally would recommend starting the player. And so how do you build a team to facilitate everything here in the quickest way possible? The way I would do it, guys, is I'd start with top 5. I would build a team with 2 players from Bayern, 2 players from Dortmund, 2 players from Union Berlin, 2 players from Freiburg, and 2 players from Leipzig. With that, you can then complete Terrific Tie, which is scoring a hat-trick or scoring 3 goals with Leipzig players. You can complete Bavarian Victory, which is score 6 goals in a game with a Bayern player. You can complete Celebration at Mua, which is score a hat-trick with an Austrian player. You can complete the Relegation Battle if you start the Hertha player, which also requires 6 games. So you kind of want to do these 2 together. And then also you can complete Iron Strength, which is starting an Union Berlin player, which you already have, and scoring 2 of them. So you can effectively do all of these together. And the only thing you can't do at the same time is Sting Like a Bee, because you need 4 Dortmund players for this one. So I personally would do this one last. And maybe you've got some really cool Dortmund players and you can actually go and do this in Champs or Rivals. But yeah, I would go and put a top 5 team together. Relegation Battle doesn't need to start, I'm being told as well. So for Relegation Battle, score with Hertha Berlin players and Iron Strength. Some people, are, as I say, like you could take the risk if you like. I personally would start them because it doesn't hurt you to start them anyway. And in the case of Iron Strength, you'll be starting the game with 2 Union Berlin players anyway for top 5. And you'll be starting with the Leipzig players, and you'll be starting with the Bayern players. And if you make sure you start with an Austrian player in that setup as well, as I say, you can complete everything. So I personally would start them. But to give you one more very, very quick run through, Sting Like a Bee, 8 games with 4 Dortmund players. Celebration at Moor, a hat-trick with an Austrian player. Bavarian Victory scores 6 goals in a game with a Bayern player. Terrific Tires, 3 goals with a Red Bull Leipzig player. Relegation Battle is score and win with Hertha Berlin players. Top 5 is play 10 games with 2 players from Bayern, Dortmund, Union Berlin, Freiburg and Leipzig. And Iron Strength is score 2 goals and win the game with an Union Berlin player. And once again, you can do this as it says right on the screen there. Minimum semi-pro on squad battles. And then you can also do it in Rivals or Champs. And of course, for 18 games, is it worth it is the question. You've got the 8 Bundesliga player pack. Probably not worth it overall. You've got the 1181 plus Bundesliga pack, definitely worth going for. Even if you just did that, you get, for 3 goals with a Leipzig player, you get that pack. That's legit. Top 5 for the Icon Muller. At this stage in FIFA, he's probably not worth it, but it's a good bit of fodder. He's like not a bad card either, but I don't think people are going to be going crazy over that card. Iron Strength for the team of the season, Doki, I think is definitely worth it. And I personally think that completing it all to get Thuram, a 50k pack, and 7,500 XP is also definitely worth it, because 7,500 XP will, at this moment in time, push most people up over to this setup here, where you can get Desai, the 2584 pluses, or the 1 of 3 90 FX TOTS pack, which I would take that, guys. That has been juiced. And it will push some people also up towards the 383 plus, and even get some people close to this 383 plus as well. So for me, guys, definitely worth grinding out, definitely worth doing, even if you just do it over the course of the week. You've got 10 days to complete this. But if this helped you, drop a thumbs up, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.